When I first walked into the towering glass doors of Brennan and Associates, I thought this internship would be about learning contracts, research, and endless coffee runs. I wasn't prepared for him, Mr. Brennan, the man whose presence owned every corner of the law firm. Some secrets don't hide in shadows. They wait for you in plain sight. He was older than me by at least 10 years, yet somehow ageless. Sharp suit, sharp jaw, sharper eyes, gray with a steel coldness that softened only when they lingered too long on me. At first, I told myself I was imagining it. I was just another intern, forgettable. But when he called me into his office for review sessions, the way he closed the door told me otherwise. Power isn't always spoken. It's in the way someone looks at you too long. I'd sit across from him, legal briefs in hand, pretending to focus on words that blurred the moment his gaze cut into me. He never said anything out of line, not at first. But when his hand brushed mine as he took a file, it lingered a fraction longer than it should. When he adjusted my tie or smoothed a wrinkle from my blazer, my pulse raced louder than the ticking clock on his wall. The smallest touch can feel like the loudest confession. I told myself I couldn't get involved. He was my boss. I was here to prove myself. But then one night, when everyone else had gone, he asked me to stay. The case files spread across the mahogany desk weren't what he wanted. "You're different," he said, voice low, as though admitting something dangerous. "I can't stop noticing you. The moment the truth slips, there's no turning back." I froze, words failing me. My heart thundered. He stepped closer, his cologne wrapping around me, cedar, spice, something I wanted to drown in. "Tell me to stop," he whispered, his breath brushing my ear. But I didn't. I couldn't. Instead, my silence betrayed me. Silence can be louder than any yes. His hand slid against the desk until it found mine. Fingers laced, locked, claiming me with the gentlest of grips. My throat tightened, not from fear, but from the way every part of me wanted what I shouldn't. "You shouldn't," I whispered finally, though even I didn't believe my words. "But I already have," he answered, his lips just a breath from mine. "The forbidden doesn't wait for permission. It takes what it wants." The kiss didn't come then. Not yet. He stopped, as though pulling back gave him control. "Go home," he said softly, "before I do something I won't take back." I stumbled out, breathless, the weight of his unspoken desire heavier than the files I carried. That night, I replayed everything. His words, his eyes, the way his hand felt against mine. I told myself I'd keep it professional, distance myself. But the next morning, when his hand brushed my lower back as he passed behind me, I knew I was already too far gone. Once a line is crossed, pretending it didn't happen is impossible. The secret was no longer his, it was ours. The following weeks blurred into a dangerous rhythm. Coffee runs became stolen glances. Review sessions became quiet moments charged with everything we didn't say. And every time he looked at me like I was more than an intern, I broke a little more inside. Secrets grow heavier the longer you carry them. One late evening, it happened again. Everyone had left, and I was still typing briefs. He leaned against the doorway of my cubicle, arms crossed, watching. I felt it before I saw it, his presence heavy, magnetic. "You work too hard," he said, stepping inside my space. I laughed nervously. "Isn't that the point of an internship?" He shook his head, his gaze locked on me. "Not when it keeps me from saying what I want to." The boldest truths often come when no one else is around to hear them. I stood, uncertain, caught in the storm of his eyes. He closed the distance slowly, deliberately, until the desk pressed into my thighs and he was right there, too close, not close enough. "Tell me to stop," he said again, voice lower, rougher. This time I didn't hesitate. Don't stop. Some choices are made in whispers that change everything. The kiss was fire. It consumed weeks of restraint, burned through every professional boundary. His hands framed my face, mine clutched his shirt, pulling him closer. The law books around us might as well have disappeared. The only truth that mattered was the way his lips claimed mine like they'd been waiting too long. When he finally broke the kiss, he whispered against my lips, "You're not just an intern to me." My heart stuttered. "Then what am I?" "Obsession," he confessed. "The one thing I can't hide anymore." When desire turns into obsession, nothing remains safe. The weeks that followed were dangerous. Every meeting, every shared glance across a crowded office was a game of fire we couldn't stop playing. The others suspected nothing, but I knew the risk grew each time his hand brushed mine under the table, or when his eyes lingered too long. I should have felt guilty. Instead, I felt alive. The forbidden doesn't always feel wrong. It feels inevitable. One night, when we finally gave in fully, he admitted the truth. "I hired you because you reminded me of something I thought I'd lost. But now, I can't let you go." I stared at him, breathless. "Then don't." The way he looked at me then, like I was the only person in the world, was both beautiful and terrifying. Obsession disguised as love is the most intoxicating trap of all. We became reckless. Whispered meetings. Lingering touches. Nights that ended not with research but with his hands on me, his voice in my ear. I stopped caring about the risks. He stopped pretending it was wrong. And yet deep down I knew. Secrets never stay hidden forever. Every secret, no matter how sweet, eventually demands a price. By the time I realized how deep I was, it was already too late. He wasn't just my boss anymore. He wasn't just the man I kissed when no one was watching. He was the obsession I couldn't walk away from, even if the entire law firm found out. And maybe part of me wanted them to. The most dangerous love stories aren't whispered, they're exposed.